You see a well put together room, do you think to yourself, like, how the heck they do that? Or are you like a lot of different people and you go, I like that look, but I am not sure that I could put together and mix colors and patterns and layer everything all together and make it look good? Well, listen, I am in this masterclass, I'm going to help you learn how to do exactly that. I'm going to teach you some simple design principles that are going to help you feel more like a pro when you put your pillow setups and really decor your entire space and room together. In fact, I'm going to help you become a dope-nificent decorator. So welcome to the second masterclass of the 2021 Room Makeover Challenge. I'm your designer, Denise Joy, creator of the Faraha Method. Through my process, I use a holistic, creative approach to help my clients create a joyful, custom on a budget, personalized space. It's a meaningful mashup of physical beauty, functionality, and it enhances their overall well-being. In this video, I am demystifying how to make your pillows pop like the pros do, right? I know that's what everybody wants because I hear my clients say that. They say, Denise, how do you put this together? How do you do this? I was recently interviewed the other day here in my hometown for the lifestyle, Life and Times, and that was the main question. Well, how do you do what you do? What's your process? And so I know that people want to be better at decorating their house. And so this masterclass is going to give you the tips and tools to do that. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping first. So if you are watching this live, welcome, and please subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. I really appreciate it. Become an official part of the community. I call it the DIY Geekster community, and hit that subscribe button. Also share this video. Share it with your community. Say something like, join me for dope design tips with Denise Joy. You don't have to do all that alliteration, but just share the video out. That would be so greatly appreciated. And then also hit the like button. Hit the button and let me know and let everyone else know that this video is meaningful to you. You think that other people should engage and learn and grow from the knowledge and the passion that I'm bringing to this masterclass this evening. And also hit the notification bell so you know when the videos are coming up. Really, I'm just so appreciative that you joined me. Shout out your state too. Shout out your state in the chat. Let me pull it up on my phone so that I can be responding as folks are coming in and letting me know that they are present and accounted for. And if you're watching this on the replay, drop in the comments. What state are you joining from? Where are you watching from? I promise to respond. Also leave a comment. Let me know what other kinds of videos do you want, tangible information so that you can become a better decorator, right? Custom on a budget is my whole thing. If you hire a designer, fantastic. If you don't hire a designer and you want to become better at decorating and designing your own space, that's excellent and awesome too. The 2021 Room Makeover Challenge really is all about helping you create a whole new vibe in your home. So maybe some of you know me from the work I've done with Lisa Nichols and Steve Harvey, speaking as a national speaker all over the country, or maybe our paths cross in my former business, the Children's Theater Workshop here in the DMV, or maybe you were a former student of mine at Howard University, or maybe you just stumbled across me here on my YouTube channel, which is just fine too. Whichever way we are connected, I appreciate you. Now, I have been an obsessed decorator ever since I was a young kid. When I grew up, we didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have a ton of money. And honestly, we moved around a lot. In fact, I lived in 13 different homes from the time I was born until I was 17. So pretty much I was moving every year or every other year. That's a lot. But I got really good. There was a silver lining in there. Well, basically I always had my family around, But I wasn't that kid who could say, "Oh, we lived on that street for 15 years," or I had that room from when I was a baby or a toddler up until high school or college. But what I did do was I got really, really good, y'all, at taking a space down and setting that thing back up quickly. And I would carve out a special space for me in wherever we moved to. Well, honestly, I didn't know how long we'd be there and how long I'd have it. So I wanted to make something special. I was a huge reader. I also am a visual artist and I drew all the time. So I would have a little nook, a corner. I shared a room all the time, but I always had my spot. I know what a huge difference having something special really makes to a person. And so I carry that same kind of motivation and that same awareness and knowingness when I work with my clients, when I do my YouTube videos, when I do these kinds of master classes, because I know every single person deserves something special. So tonight, it's all about making these pillows pop. It's all about the pillow power, right? And it doesn't matter what your decor style is either, right? Your design aesthetic, right? I'm modern, I'm industrial, I'm contemporary. Oh, child, I'm French country, or I'm sophisticated, updated farmhouse, or I'm in jest, right? Like I'm often just changing and thinking, what is my design style? I'm certainly eclectic, so we would say that's transitional, right? Eclectic is really a transitional style, which is the merging and integration of different styles like Hollywood, Regency, and boho, and glam, and so on and so forth. And so I say I'm sophisticated eclectic or sophisticated transitional. That's my term. But it doesn't matter, because at the heart of every design style, every aesthetic, are basic design principles, design composition principles. So I am going to teach you some basic, powerful, simple design principles that are going to make a huge difference in how you set up pillows and how you really set up any other room in your home. I'm also going to teach you about different sizes and kinds of pillows, how to set up a 3-seater sofa, which just means 3 people could sit comfortably on this sofa with no problem. And I'm going to teach you how to mix patterns and colors and make them things pop like a pro, because that's really what you're after. Pillows are really the quickest, most budget-friendly, easiest way to transform a space. So, principles of design composition. Well, you know what? Before we jump into that, I want to just talk quickly about a little bit more about my background, because I mentioned that I'm a visual artist, and this is actually a painting of mine that I paint. I love to paint on fabric. Surprise. I love fabric and been passionate about fabric since I was a little kid, since I made my very first hand-stitched quilt in the 2nd or 3rd grade. I think it was the 3rd grade. And I've just loved fabric ever since. But this is a painting, and I specialize in painting acrylic on mud cloth. That's my medium. This is actually a 4-foot by 5-foot painting. I have my camera tilted to what we're focusing on in this masterclass, which are the pillows. But I did want to point that out. And this is my 1925 bungalow living room, which I just adore. It's my 3rd home after never thinking I would own a home at all. And this is my 3rd. And I've been able to do really substantial major remodeling in every home that I've owned. This is a cozy, warm. A lot of people say the vibe in this space makes them feel like the space is hugging them, which is awesome, because that was my intention, to make it feel like a place where you could just kick back and relax and really unwind and feel really comfortable. All right, so our basic design principles. The first one, I actually just mentioned it. It's vibe. What is the vibe? What's the energy? Now, in the design world, they would say mood. What's the mood? Well, I prefer vibe. It just has a little more jazz to it, right? And really, it's about vibration. That's where vibe comes from. The vibration is an energy flow and feel that's moving kinetically within a space. In fact, sometimes you'll walk into a room and say, I dig the vibe in here. I'm feeling this. I really, I feel this feels good to me. So what's the vibe? Do you want it to be very serene and relaxed? Maybe it's a coastal vibe where you want that spa coastal feel happening in the space. And so your vibe is very important for you to be clear about once you start. More typically, you're adding pillows into a space that already has a vibe, because more typically the room is designed, the sofa is selected, the accent chairs, etc., have all been selected, and now you're adding your accent pieces or your decor items. Sometimes, though, you might start with a very vibrant pillow, like maybe this iCat pillow, maybe this fabric. This is a custom fabric here. Maybe this fabric drew your attention and you think, I love the way the interplay of these colors here, the neutrals of the brown, the ivory, and then the pop of color here, subtle with the turquoise. And maybe you say, I want to actually build out other major pieces around this fabric. So vibe is number one. Second is color. Color is the linchpin for pretty much everything. It truly is. You integrate patterns through color. You can integrate textures. I love to say there's a story in a room, or the room is telling me its story, revealing its vibe to me. And I like to think of color playing nicely together, right? Or I sometimes say, oh, they're all the elements are talking to each other and they're getting along. They're playing nicely together. So color. What colors are you going to pull out? Accent colors from within a room. This room has an eclectic vibe, but does not mean the color palette is all over the place. This sofa is from Room and Board, and it happens to be in a custom chenille pattern. I don't know if you can quite see it. It probably looks more brick red from on screen, but it actually has this wonderful chevron. It's a chenille fabric with a chevron pattern, and it's a brick red with a gorgeous sort of charcoal brown with it's absolutely stunning in person. Really, it is. But it's a small scale pattern, so the red can pop out, and depending upon what's around it, you could pop out the charcoal. So you also want to make sure you mix in neutrals. Neutrals are white, brown, black, and gray in various tones. But those are your neutrals. Neutrals are important because neutrals can highlight, neutralize, or create contrast. And so you want to understand how they interplay. And then you also want to have some basic understanding of your color wheel. You want to understand how the primary colors and the secondary colors and how colors are mixed together to make the tertiary colors, and so on and so on. And as colors are mixed, they lose their intensity, but we get these variations of more dramatic colors. And so you might have a monochromatic room in that most of the pillows up here are monochromatic. Well, these are tonally, your tones, these are tonally monochromatic, but you would also maybe have a monochromatic room of one color, and the secondary, which is a complementary colored room. I don't want to go all the way down the rabbit hole of color theory, so I'm going to stop myself. Number 3, repetition. That's subtle repeating of colors and patterns, not only in your pillows, but throughout your entire room. So I like to say I want to see at least 3 times a color that I'm having in my pillow play out in the room. And I also want to encourage you not to forget about, say, how much white you might have in a room already, or off-white, for your trim, like trim around your doors, trim around your windows, any trim that's visible. That white is going to actually function as another neutral color to either neutralize, highlight, or contrast. So you want to keep that in mind. Number 4, patterns. Patterns, right? Vary your patterns by color and by scale. So iCat is a fairly large pattern. Patterns are things that repeat. And so on this sweet pillow here, we have this almost like a batik dye effect on this pattern. And these diagonal lines repeat. And then we have the repeat of these dots on this indigo mud cloth, this little piece of indigo mud cloth. These are medium, these are small. There's some lines on this pillow back here. There's actually on this jacquard, I sound so fancy when I say that, jacquard. On this jacquard pillow on the side, there's a lot of texture on there, and there's a pattern. There's also a chevron-like pattern on this pillow, but it also has some sort of intentionally incomplete spots. It's really a funky, luxurious type of a pillow. And then we have scale. Mix the scale, which is the size of the pattern. So again, large and small size. Texture. I always say that's anything that's not smooth like butter. So this iCat has a really kind of a rough texture to it here. Well, it's not rough, but it's not smooth. It's sort of in between. This velvet pillow here is beautiful. It's so luxe. It's handmade. This is from Room and Board. I guess I like a lot of things from Room. I have a mix of my favorite places that I shop. Mid-tier, mid-level, mid-price, but very quality pieces. But this is a handmade, hand-painted, a hand-printed pillow. And it's a velvet and it almost makes your heartbeat slow down and makes you relax because the feel is so and there's a subtle raised element on the velvet, which gives it great pattern. There's some cowhide pillows back here on the back, and they have a very luxurious texture to them because you have some of the, it's actually faux cowhide, but at any rate, it's made to look like real cowhide, and it has that really glorious, smooth texture to it. And we'll talk about texture a little bit later for some other pillows. Last two, balance. You want to decide whether you're going to go with symmetrical. Symmetrical simply means what's on the left side looks the same as what's on the right side. Even Steven, that's a more formal look. And or asymmetrical. Asymmetrical, which means we got ABC on this side, you got X and Y. So it's a little uneven, but it's informal or more casual, and sometimes has a lot of interest because of the unpredictableness of the fact that each side is not equally balanced. And last but not least, we've got contrast. Contrast is where you mix your textures, your colors, and your patterns. Contrast is what makes the room come to life, in my opinion and in my experience. It's what adds that energetic liveliness into a space because the eye is moving around and moving through, and it's almost like eye candy, or a smorgasbord of interest and intrigue. And it keeps pulling a person deeper into a room or making them want to stay a while because there's just so much to take in and to see and to say, oh, I didn't notice that color, and that color's over there too. And it just fits and it works. And so you want to use these the principles of design composition. There are more, but this is some of the basic ways you can begin to think and shift how you view putting together a pillow setup, or again, selecting furniture pieces that didn't come as a set. You want to select custom fabrics. You want to take these principles into consideration. Now, where do you not want to use pillows? Personally, I would never put pillows in a baby's crib. Just wouldn't do it. I would not put them in a baby's crib, but there are lots of places that you can put pillows. I think the number one place besides the sofa that we think of putting pillows is on a bed. But let's push pause real quick. I don't know if it's push pause or I'm gonna call something to our attention here. So some of us women are guilty of overloading the bed with pillows, like overload like 15 pillows. In fact, in one of my decorating groups on Facebook, I was reading someone's post, and the person was saying that she loved her pillow setup. First of all, she said there were so many, but she was saying she loved it so much that she wouldn't even sleep in her bed anymore. She would sleep on the couch. Now, come on now, y'all. Hold on. We need a good night's sleep. Self-care. You pay good money, I'm sure, for a mattress. You should be sleeping in it too. So if you are fall in that category, I'm just going to go through some quick, simple, basic rules of pillows, decor pillows on a bed. King size bed, no more than 6. I know, want for the 10 and up crowd, but really 6 should be plenty. And then a queen size bed, around 5, and a full and a twin, 3 pillows. These are decor pillows, not the pillows that you sleep on, not that you put your head on. So where else can you use pillows? The sofa, like we're going to do this 3-seater sofa setups here. window seats, benches at the end of your bed, benches other places in your home, accent chairs. You can do pillows really in a variety of places. All right, so let's cover real quick what kinds and sizes of pillows there are. So first thing we're going to look at is the lumbar pillow. Why is it called a lumbar pillow? Because it supports the lower back, the lumbar. And this lumbar pillow example is one of the smallest ones that I've ever seen, actually. This one is, lumbar pillows are always rectangular, long, a little longish and rectangular. And this one is fairly thin. I want to say about 6 inches. Get any smaller than this and they might disappear down into the insert in the sofa or the chair. This one here has a beautiful graphic pattern on it. The fabric is quite textured. This is a mud cloth fabric. The other side is solid black, although there's a zipper here, so you really wouldn't, not unless you were able to hide this bottom zipper, you probably wouldn't use this side. But this is one example of a low profile lumbar pillow. This ICAP fabric pillow is also a lumbar pillow. It's not as long and it's a little bit taller, but because of its shape, it also is a lumbar pillow. And I have a lumbar pillow behind me, little bit longer, 24 inches. This pillow would go nicely in, say, French country, modern farmhouse. You could even put this in an industrial room, transitional room, within reason. You could use this in a transitional space, but I definitely could see this in a farmhouse, updated farmhouse. Boho, you could get away with this. Boho is going in more of a lighter toned color. Some people say boho is being Scandinavian is being co-opted by boho, because Scandinavian, the Scandinavian design style historically has been one where there's natural colors, earthy tones. Boho traditionally, historically, was more very colorful. But nowadays, hey, right, people have kind of sub-split the design style. And so there's the colorful boho, there's the Scandinavian-esque boho. So there's lots of ways. But this is another example of a longer lumbar pillow. Then we have what we call our 18 by 18, more standard size pillow on sort of a mid-level size sofa. This sofa is a mid-level 3-seater sofa. This is 18 by 18. Now, the pillow inserts, my favorite, what I really try to live by, are the down feather blend. Why? Because you get to chop the pillow. Well, this one here, this one is not a down feather. Plus, you wouldn't chop a rectangular lumbar pillow. But I'm the fan of the down feather blend. And so, in fact, this pillow is a pillow that I made. I don't think I told you guys that, but this pillow I made from a $2.99 Tommy Hilfiger shower curtain that I picked up from the thrift store, cleaned it. I had this piece of indigo mud cloth left, and I actually made a pair of these pillows. These pillows would go, which are very trendy now. Turn it around so you can see the back. Beautiful. These pillows are very trendy now. They're being sold, the two-tone pillows with pattern and then a piece of more natural fabric here, anywhere from, $55, $60, $75 a piece. I made both of these pillows for a total of $15 plus my time. But so we've got our 18 by 18. This pillow actually is a 16 by 16 pillow, but it's still doing its job and doing it quite well. Again, this is the velvet pillow, hand painted from Room Board. And then you have your larger size pillows. This is one of the cowhide pillows. Here's a 20 by 20. And because of this cowhide material, we don't have the choppability here because this is not a down feather blend pillow, but still it works very well. And I just wanted to show you also how this has this beautiful 4-square pattern, 4 different tones of the gray, the neutral on this pillow. So it works very, very well. Then we have our oversized pillow. This is when you have a really deep, larger sofa. I love this pillow. I love it because it's just so soft. The velvet is so soft and playful. The color is bright. It just, when I brought it into the shot, I'm sure it just boop, changed the energy in the room. And then it has two-sided. And I love this because this is I call this a feminine tweed. I mean, although women can wear really any color, but I just love the fun in here. It has some hot pink and it has the orange and it has some fuchsia in here and also some white for the neutrals and some gray for the neutral. You could even put a couple of these pillows together and put them on the floor and they could be floor seating. Here's another oversized pillow. This is another example of a pillow that I made. And so you can see that this fabric, and this was what was left over from when I made this large oversized pillow here. Again, downfilled because it quickly regains its shape. Like if somebody sits on this, boom, you got it. It comes back. You could combine a couple of these together and sit them on the floor and make, Moroccan style seating if you wanted to do something really cool and laid back like that. And so those are just some different pillow sizes. And also pillows come in different sizes, circles, triangles, whatever shapes, but you don't want to use pillows that are too small in proportion to your sofa. I mean, imagine if I had a bunch of 10 by 10 pillows on here, they would just look odd and actually disrupt the eye, not in a good way. So be mindful that you don't get pillows that are either way too big or way too small. Ooh, go. I got a fan, y'all. Go ahead on. So now let's jump into some demos. Okay, so the first demo I'm going to do, let me move some of these over here. The first demo is I'm going to work in a floral. Yes, a floral. You might be thinking, a floral? I know. Many people are intimidated by florals, right? Aren't florals old-fashioned? I think some people might think that, but actually, no. Florals are, again, part of the pattern world. You know what? Before I jump into this floral, I do want to mention one of my most favorite books, design books, and it's Living with Pattern by Rebecca Atwood, Color, Texture, and Print at Home. I love this book. First of all, it has just gorgeous photos in it. This is one of my favorite patterns that she highlights. This one is so gorgeous and graphic. And I really feel that you could this one happens to be in a bathroom. You could put this type of pattern in a bathroom, in an entryway, a foyer. You could even maybe do something fun in a pantry, believe it or not. People don't think about that often. How often you go into a pantry, a large enough pantry, or even sort of a small wall. But at any rate, this is just a wonderful book. It really breaks down how patterns are created, how they transform a space, how to layer them, what energy vibe different patterns bring. I was just flipping through trying to find some florals here, in that we actually have pattern in so much of our day-to-day existence. It's not just in our pillows, as I mentioned just a bit ago, that there's a chevron pattern in the chenille of this sofa. Now, back to our florals. A lot of folks are scared of florals. And so remember earlier when I was going through the principles of design composition, I mentioned color. Color is how we integrate. So different patterns can be integrated, or like I say, play nice together when we use color. So this setup here is a neutral toned pillow setup. And how this is going to work well together is because all of the tones in here, with the exception of the light green in the are neutral. So we have the black or the dark, the cream, all playing out, and the grays all working together well in this pillow setup, and they're playing so nicely together, and it all works. And I'm just going to move these over just to give you a little different effect here. And I always like to tuck one pillow kind of so we get a a movement effect. So we wouldn't put the pillows side by side like that, right? We would do a little tuck, a chop, and then tuck and chop. And there we have a little more dynamics going on. But again, the relationship of all three of these pillows is because of the color family. Now, this is also an exercise to just show you, to help you push the boundary of how you've been thinking, to think about, oh, let me also just explore how this tonal relationship actually can be of benefit and actually be of value to what I'm doing in my home or in my bedroom or on my bench, window seat, or on my bed. It's the tonal, tone on tone, the neutral tones that make this pillow setup a possibility. You might not put the cowhide here if you're not going for, this is more of a luxe and this is more of a transitional and luxe potential effect here. So you might take that pillow out and maybe swap it out and put this pillow combination here. You might put this on the back here to pull out some of that ivory in there that actually really looks very nice versus the cowhide. But yet we could have gone with the cowhide if someone was just determined because they loved it. But I just want to show this as well. And then we'll do one more where we put our pillow in our floral in the back, put our ivory in the front here, and then put our jacquard on the side here. And then we've moved most of the energy to the back, but it's still very nice. And remember, I said that the pillows don't have to match the sofa. Again, you could have pulled some of the reds in here out, but this is a dark enough, these pillow seats are filled with feathers and down also. So they're always pulling feathers off of them. But at any rate, you don't have to match them. All right, let's go for setup number 2. All right, we're going to move into some color. All right, we have this beautiful burnt orange. Totally changes the vibe in the space as soon as you see it. Just transforms that corner from when it had the floral or one of the lighter gray tone pillows there. So now I'm going to work in this very gorgeous patterned Cuba cloth pillow. All right. Now, I actually made this pillow as well, and it has a beautiful rusty burnt brown mud cloth with this fantastic, I almost call it a flying geese. That's what we would call this pattern if I was doing a quilt. And so this actually functions as more of a neutral because it has the browns, the blacks, but we have this small little corner here on this pillow it's in the orange family. So we're going to pull that tone out and we're going to place that together, and look at how gorgeous that looks. It just makes this corner pop. It just makes you, in my mind, it makes you say, that's kind of fly, or man, that is dope. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to add a pillow to this pillow setup, and I'm going in the blue family. Now, maybe your brain is thinking, now what's she going to do with that blue pillow? Well, I'm about to show you. And we're going to go to the color wheel. Remember, we talked about primary, or I mentioned, we didn't talk deep about it because we could go way down the rabbit hole of color theory. But primary, secondary, tertiary, and so on colors. Well, this beautiful blue tweed, most of it is blue, and it has a great texture, and it has this neat piping on the edge here, which sort of finishes the pillow off and makes it look really smart and I don't know, intelligent. If pillows could have a personality, like some pillows are whimsical, some pillows are flighty, some pillows are sturdy. Well, this one here, is intelligent. But what I'm going to do here is, because orange, or this is really a burnt orange, and this is almost an indigo blue. They are opposites on the color wheel, and so because tonally they're on the same tonal plane, they are going to complement each other. So I'm going to pop this blue pillow in and let's see what happens. Let's put it behind our Kuba cloth pillow. So we've got there, Kuba cloth pillow. Let's pop this up. Let's chop it, because we've got choppability here, and then chop it here. And they all work quite nicely together. Again, it's the complementary of the blue to the orange. And remember that this has some of the orange, and that this is mostly a neutral pillow because of the beige, the black, and the brown. And we have some white, quite a bit of white actually in this pillow, which is another neutral, which is pulling this together as a cohesive, completely workable unit. And I just like to switch them around just to show you kind of some of the energy dynamics if we were to move them and switch them around. Still, it works like that perfectly fine, just as well. So what are you getting out of this masterclass already? Drop something in the comments. Let me know what is blowing your mind, or maybe it's confirming some things. You're like, so that's why I do XYZ. Oh, maybe you have an instinctive or an intuitive approach to pillow setups and decorating in particular. And this information is just confirming for you, oh, I guess I do have the eye, right? I got the goods and I know how to use it. So drop in the comments. Let me know what's working for you. Let me know also if you have a question. I promise you that I'll come back and answer it. All right, let's get ready for our final setup of the evening. I have been designing. I used to call myself an undercover designer because, I guess I was just really shy about saying that I was a designer or that I had this ability. I mentioned earlier that I'm a visual artist, and I did art from a very young age, and I studied a lot of art in high school. In fact, I attended a class called studio art, and I spent pretty much half of my day in art class learning the principles of design, composition, and art. And it really transformed my whole life because I already had a sensibility to think as an artist because I drew and I sketched. In fact, I used to watch cartoons and then I would go back and sketch. I had a little notebook and I would sketch Bullwinkle and all these other characters that I'd seen in the cartoon or in the TV show. And I was just in love with the fact that I got to study art pretty much all day, right? I even hand drew the mascot for my high school when I was in high school, which was like a highlight of my high school experience. And, we're in a pandemic. This live is being done when we're in a pandemic. And I had already started doing quite a bit of design work, again, but sort of kind of undercover, quote unquote. It was funny because one day I had posted on my Facebook page that I'm coming out, I've been an undercover designer for too long, and like hundreds of people commented. It was like, what? Like we already knew. So I called myself outing myself, and there was no need. Folk already knew. They already had seen my skill and my passion and my knowledge and my ability. And so at any rate, we were in the pandemic, or the pandemic had started, and I had already been doing some sort of like I call underground or undercover design work. But one day a thought occurred to me that literally I said this to myself. If I have to be taken out by COVID, what's the one thing that I would regret? Immediately, instantly, it occurred to me that I would regret that I didn't fully embrace my design sensibility and capacity and passion on the level that it really wanted to be expressed. And I started this YouTube channel that day, and sort of the rest is history. And I've been working consistently and actually preparing as sort of my retirement, my retirement gig. But multi-passionate, I've been multi-passionate my whole life. So I feel so blessed, so fortunate, so grateful. Again, thank you for joining me on my YouTube Live masterclasses, watching, liking, and asking questions on my other YouTube videos. I mean, there's everything. In fact, there's a video of me doing one of my paintings, the process that I take to actually do one of my paintings on fabric, because again, I paint on mud cloth, how to stencil walls, how to set up your outdoor space. I mean, really, my DIY Duo redesign series. Listen, my little assistant here just think they want to be in the shot. But my DIY Duo redesign series, that's a really fun series where I go in and do a custom on a budget makeover in one single weekend using repurposed furniture, some new purchases, and the homeowner also does DIY project. And we bring it together as a team collaborating, and we make that thing happen in a single weekend. All right, so let's get to this final setup. Again, we would never set our sofa up like this. But again, this is a bit of a masterclass. Well, it is. It is not a bit. It is a masterclass. And so I am also using this as a teaching opportunity to show how we can blend patterns through color and tone and through pattern as well. So the first thing I want to show here are these two pillows here in the front. Let me move this one over. This pillow, I just love it. I just love it. First of all, I adore chevron. I already said that this couch has a chevron pattern on it. The Luxe pillow had a chevron. I just love chevron. It's my favorite thing. It's one of my favorite things. In fact, I'm going to be doing a new build master bath edition, and I'm going to have chevron tile. Funky though. I'm talking, y'all stick around to see how that unfolds. It's going to be funky. Funky means real good. And so I'm going to have some chevron in there. But anyway, this again has that dyed effect, and this would be wonderful in a sophisticated boho or just a regular kind of sort of more muted boho, but with some color. But what I want to show here is that this furry pillow, this is where I wanted to talk more about texture. Fur is so in. This could go wonderfully in a glam design style or design aesthetic, because it has that gorgeous muted tone, this blush blue, honey. This feels so nice. This would be groovy on a bed setup, pillow setup. But anyway, what I want to point out here is this also has a chevron pattern. And not only do these colors work, there's the light bluish color here to here, but the pattern. Earlier, I said that we integrate or we make patterns work well together through color. Color is first, but if color isn't there always, the direction of a pattern can also create what we call a good relationship. So if you were really up close, these two work so nice together. Then we have this funkified turquoise with this white piping around the edge. Turquoise is my favorite color. Well, actually orange and turquoise, but they're complementary colors. So versions of orange and turquoise are my favorite colors. So now we're going to, let me move this over here. So now let's look at this sweet little, this feels just like a boho pillow to me. In fact, this is another example of a pillow made out of a shower curtain. And I actually made a piece of wall art that I'll share in the next and final masterclass for the 2021 Room Makeover Challenge. So there's a matching or accompanying wall art, fabric wall art on canvas that goes with this pillow. But what I'm going to do here is just show this quick pillow setup. So most of this pillow is white, which is the neutral. We have this patterned pillow here, which has that turquoise in it. And then it has this fun, it could be a floral pattern on here. You really can't see it probably from there, but there's this sort of floral or leaf pattern going on this pillow, highly patterned. We could put this white pillow here, and then we could put this turquoise pillow. Let me turn it this way with it. Let me move this out of the way. We could put this turquoise pillow with it and create a really fun, almost monochromatic pillow setup here because of the relationship. This has a lighter tone of the turquoise. This is a darker, and this is a darker, and then white, white, and white. And you see how this becomes like a monochromatic with just enough neutral in it to really bring this together. This would look really nice on a bedroom, bench, window seat, kitchen, dining nook, anything of the sort like that. And then lastly, I want to bring over this. We already talked about this one. This here, this is a bit of an oversized. This also came from Room and Board. This is handmade and hand dyed. I guess I dig handmade and hand dyed type things. And actually, this is a set, and it's just sort of the washed out charcoal, almost a chambray. And it's a little bit different of a pillow because it's longer than it is wide. It's not a traditional square shape. It's a bit of a rectangle. And it has this very oversized pattern on it. In fact, I guess these two patterns are almost equal in size. I wouldn't put these patterns next to each other because they're too equal in size, and they sort of cancel each other out. Right, they disqualify each other. However, if I took say the pattern on this lumbar, and it's a smaller pattern, this pattern on pattern could work better together because the scale isn't so close together in size, and they don't fight, right? I like to say they're playing nicely together. And I want to close out by showing my favorite other sweet pillow. So we always talk about bringing nature into a room, right? And some people just don't have a green thumb. They're like, girl, you put those plants in here, they will be dead in 2 minutes. All right. So instead, you can work a nature feel, a nature vibration, the energy of nature into a room by prints on a pillow, with this, which this print does so lovely. This pillow has leaves on it. The white and repeat pattern are leaves. And you could even have something like this in a canvas wall art to bring that nature vibration into a space and making it work and work well. Well, I'm at the end of our demos, and I hope that you have received some rock star, totally dope-nificent, valuable information from, let me just karate chop all the ones I can, because you know I love a good karate chop. From this masterclass, it has been absolutely thrilling to be here with you. I want you to make sure that you go and watch the first masterclass, which I did on 5 tips on how to style a tray. And again, everything that I say in there is not limited to just styling trays. You're going to apply those tips and those principles to really just, I like to say, tricking out your home. Tricking just means funkify, and funkify just means make it look dope. And make it look dope means make it snazzy, make it pop. So again, if you have gotten to the end of this video, thank you for coming on this journey with me. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Make sure you share this video, hit the share button, and just again, say something really cool or witty like, join me for dope design tips with Denise Joy, and hit the notification bell. That way you will find out when the next video is dropping and you won't miss a beat. And leave me a comment. Let me know what other videos you would love to see. I will see you all in the next video. Thanks so much for joining me. It's your girl, Denise Joy.